What's going on, everyone? It's Adam Craig with Grandstand Golf. This is our round 3 DFS Showdown targets for the 2021 Open Championship. Craig, let's take a look at that leaderboard. What do you think?
I think that it's going to be a pretty exciting weekend of open golf.
Yeah, I mean, I think people want a little bit of carnage, some wind, some, +5 making the cut. That's not going to happen. But that leaderboard is stacked right now.
Yeah, I mean, I do hope we get a bit of wind on the weekend. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I think it makes it a little bit more compelling when there are. I mean, the thing with it is still not necessarily like there's easy pars all over the place. You can still make bogeys out there, but once you get a little bit of wind and you're going to have to make some tough pars, I would like to see a bit of that. But anyways, we can't control that. We're just wishful thinking. We have great names at the top. We've got some great names in the chase group. Do you think that?
Well, I quickly want to look at our one and dones. Kevin threw the Hail Mary with Louis on our podcast preview, so he's got to be sitting pretty happy or being pretty happy right now. You're next with DJ, which is kind of like a little bit out of form. Maybe not the event you'd think with DJ at -7 T4. And I'm kind of at your heels with Brooks there at -5.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I mean, Kevin calling it a Hail Mary with Usti, who if I had him, I probably would have played him over DJ,
I did have him.
Yeah.
No, I'm still happy with Brooks.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if I were you, I would have played Brooks at the U.S. Open and then Usti at the Open. That's just me. The one thing that I'm curious is, so Usti, when he won the Open, I think he won by 7, was it, at St. Andrews? So
yeah, it is. Is
this more that Louis Oosthuizen versus this one we've seen with all of these top fives, all of these second places in majors, The
one thing with Louis is there was a little, he's not a god. He showed some blood in the last few holes there with a bogey. He wasn't, invincible. Not that, any of these chasers would think he's invincible, but it maybe just creeps a little bit of doubt in his mind.
Well, when he went birdie, eagle, yeah. I thought, man, he could still find another one here coming in.
16, 17, 18 were all under par, I think.
Yeah. So
playing under.
So if he was at 12 at that point, he could have opened up a good 3 or 4 shot lead, So you do have Morikawa and Jordan Spieth, who they're going to be chased. They're not going to make it easy on you when you're out in front of them. But man, I as a fan, I don't have any exposure to Louis this week. But as just a fan of him, I love to see it.
I have no Louis. I have no Colin. Just 10 lamps. I have some Spieth. I do have some 6 of 6s. Got some Spieth. There's other guys up there. Bold predictions, though. I said American sweeping the podium. There's still possible with that. I like Scheffler is one of my picks. I really like seeing him up there. Kevin had 3 South Africans in the top 10. I don't think this is the 3 that he expected, but that's live. And your boy,
I think he's got 4 right now, doesn't he?
Van Tonder, Fratelli, Oosthuizen.
Is Justin Harding South African?
I'm blanking now. I'd have to take a quick look here.
But mine, I had Ian Poulter finishing top 5 to make the Ryder, which it is still in play. He had a good day today.
He had a really good day.
Unfortunately, the conditions that I was thinking of him being a top 5 were a lot more windy, battling conditions. So it's a long shot, but we'll see.
Harding is South African, so he's got
4 guys.
He's got a lot for us. He's got for sure. Anyone else jumping out? We got a couple Canadians. Love to see that. Mackenzie Hughes, Corey Connors.
Love to see that as we move. I mean, first off, for this tournament, the thing is, so Hughes at -5, Connors at -4. I think that's, with the names above them, I think that's too far back. I would say a little bit differently with Brooks Koepka and John Rahm at -5. Maybe even Paul Casey, just because those people have their special golf is a little bit different. But I think that aside from Rahm and Brooks, it's the people at -7 or better to me.
I mean, for Brooks and Rahm, are you thinking 5 under, 65, 65? You're looking at -15 and then kind of...
Yeah, I'm looking at them going out there and doing something really, really special tomorrow. And putting up a 63 or something, and then just being
Hope Louis goes, 69 or 70,
Yeah.
something like that.
But those, I mean, essentially, those guys have those like even specialer rounds and then can follow it up. But
Yeah.
to me, the people at 7, just because it's DJ and Scheffler, but when you have names like Louis Oosthuizen, Colin Morikawa, and Jordan Spieth, they're not all those guys aren't gonna fade into the win. So
yeah,
I think the potential win equity has closed very quickly to a small group of people.
Okay, DFS thoughts. We said, the leaderboard from round 1, there's definitely going to be people who missed the cut. I didn't know it was going to be Stuart
He would not have been the one that I put money on.
Dropping like an anchor to miss the cut. And then Harris English. I wanted Harris English and Jason Day. Jason Day didn't get it done, but Harris English, including an eagle on 14 there, got in.
And comfortably, didn't he get to even?
I think he's even. Yeah.
I thought it was wishful thinking, but sometimes you gotta wish.
You almost don't even look at your lineups until Friday afternoon. That's kind of what I'm thinking most time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at
the one thing here, Louis Oosthuizen, 129 through 2 rounds, lowest 36-hole score in Open history, which that goes back a little ways. So props to Louis. It beats Nick Faldo, 1992, and Brandt Snedeker in 2012, who both had 130 through 2 rounds. So it could have been, I think he was at some point knocking on the door of major records through 2 rounds.
Yeah. I think it was at 1200.
Yeah, he was tied with it, I think, at 12.
128.
Yeah, if he would have gotten in at 12, but yeah, no, props to Louis. Yeah,
the only thing I would say, I mean, don't discredit it because of the weather. Don't discredit it because the course. Like, leave that alone. That he still played amazing. The one thing is a par 70, I guess I would say. So
yeah, but I mean, they played.
Lower.
Royal St. George's has been played at it was actually longer than this, shorter than this, long. It was basically the same length in 2011 when they were here. So, the Open does, obviously that is not even possible in some years when you get weather. So but just still, it's a long history.
Still unbelievable. Yeah. And it's going to hold for a while, I think. Round 1, about a 1 over. Round 2, 0.49. Our picks minus 0.75. Pretty good with Scott. Cantley did okay. Who'd you have? Rory did okay. Fowler, not so much.
Yeah, my picks weren't great.
Wave split. This is kind of opposite, I think, of what we might have thought almost even Wednesday night, Craig.
Yeah, I mean... it also is a little bit tough. Like, clearly, day 1, it was very evident as to that it was playing easier in the morning than the afternoon. But it did not seem like there was... So there was a 0.8 difference today between the morning and the afternoon. And it didn't seem... Like, it was very, very calm in the afternoon. And maybe they had a little bit of wind in the morning, but... I don't know if it potentially just we had more talent on one side than the other.
That's what I'm kind of thinking.
There was definitely a weather favorite, but I don't think. Essentially, what I'm saying is I don't think it was 2.27 strokes worth of weather favoritism there.
Yeah. Week-long DFS looking at 15-ish% for 6 of 6s. So hopefully you got a few through, or else it's going to be hard to kind of scratch and crawl into minimum cash.
Yeah, I've got a few through. Unfortunately, none of them are Spieth lineups, and I don't have any Louis or Morikawa, so I need one of those other guys to charge up there.
I got a Spieth, but I forget the other 5 guys. But I'm live. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. It's still open. Craig, looking at tomorrow for Showdown. Weather? Anything?
No. Unfortunately, like it doesn't look like you could maybe say the leaders might have the best of it, or going out really early might have the best of it. But I think I'm going to play people from across the slate. Yeah, I agree. Okay, same thing. And I mean, the other thing with that, like if the leaders do have a little bit better, all the ownership heaps there anyways. So you just kind of have to hope that even if the weather's a little bit better, still maybe they won't score, because you don't want to be on the guys you don't want to have only guys who are up at 30-40%.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Some nice mid-pack guys would be good for tomorrow.
On to the picks.
Let's do some picks. My first one up top, I'm going Brooks Koepka, 9,400 on DraftKings. He's gone 69-66, 5 under. My one and done pick. 11 birdies, 4 bogeys, 1 double. I mean, I don't really know what I need to say for Brooks. It's a major. It's Brooks. He looks motivated. He seems motivated. He's kind of stoking these fires. He looks healthy. He's jumping out of bunkers. The knee looks pretty good. He's not doing anything crazy on the greens. He looks good.
Sorry, what fires is he stoking? The ones that they use to manage the golf course, or the fires
He's
within?
not doing those ones in the bunkers. Him saying that his driver's all good and things like that. Yeah. I think he just needs. He likes to have a little bit of
If you haven't seen the post round interview, he just without any solicitation from I think it's Todd Lewis. He's just like, I love my driver, just throwing it out there.
And then like the smirk that you could tell he couldn't hold back. He's just like and he's hitting greens. So if you look at the box here, greens in regulation, this is over the 2 rounds. The field's at 66%. He's at 77%. I mean, after the first 2 days, my 2 picks here are going to be guys that can score. If you look at the top of the leaderboard, ball strikers like Griot's up there. Tringali's playing well. Those kind of guys I feel like are playing well because it's sat down the weather, and you can go low, and these guys can go low week in, week out. So I'm going kind of more ball strikers here. I think Brooks fits that. Plus, he's just the major kind of dominator guy here. So 9,400 Brooks, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he's been a little bit on cruise control. Maybe that's just because of the coverage that I've had of him on the broadcast I watch. But the thing that I'm really trying to figure out is up top the game theory, that where the ownership's going to fall, because I mean, Spieth is the second most expensive. Louis is more expensive now than Brooks. And then we've got Cullen, Morikawa, and DJ. I want to say Morikawa is 89 and DJ's 91. So, potentially Brooks at -5. People either want to spend up to they think Spieth and Uzi are playing great, or they're like, oh, well, I could get DJ and or Colin Morikawa. So maybe even though he is -5, his ownership doesn't get crazy, which is really when it starts to become attractive for me.
But I feel like you have a good pivot here because I agree with yours. So let's go there. It's a good segue.
So yes, I think one of the ones to look at, I think, is Justin Thomas, who is 91 or 92. Him and DJ are right there. But then Viktor Hovland at 9,000. So the one problem I have with JT is he putt very, very well today. So that's always a little bit concerning. I mean, we don't have great putting stats first off, but he putt well. So is he playing well, or did he just make some putts? But Viktor Hovland, 68, 71, -1 through 2 rounds, 6 birdies, 5 bogeys. It's really a pivot off of Morikawa and DJ. So he is between the two of them, I think, on the slate.
I think that's right.
Hasn't had a great tournament so far, but he's gained strokes in 21 of his last 25 rounds. So just, most of the time this guy shows up to a golf course, he is better than the average player in the field that day. But then really what makes him, I think, great as a showdown play, 10 of those rounds over 2.75. So you're basically getting 3 strokes against the field. Not quite half the time, but something close to that. And then 6 rounds, so about a quarter of the time, you're getting essentially 4 strokes gained or better. Like he has these rounds that are crazy, 7 strokes gained type rounds. So really he's consistent, but then when he plays well, he has these somewhat like Morikawa was this morning. He just
unbelievable.
It looks like it's effortless. What he's done so far, so he has not been accurate off the tee. He's 46 compared to the field at 58. He's usually quite accurate for his length. So essentially what I'm hoping is that for how accurate he's been off the tee, he's done a decent job hitting greens because he's slightly above average in terms of greens and regulation, but doing that from less fairways. So I think his ball striking is in a decent place. If he can just find a little bit more of the fairway, I think he's going to give himself more scoring opportunities, and it'll sort of snowball from there. But ultimately, that's I think what it'll come down to for anyone tomorrow, and Hovland should be a good bet to do that with the way he usually hits the ball off the tee.
Yeah, I 100% am behind this pick. I love Hovland tomorrow. I also think if you're just looking kind of Morikawa and Hovland, Morikawa's going to be in the final group. There's going to be pressure. It is major on a Saturday with kind of everything breathing down his neck, while Hovland can go out at 9 a.m. or whatever his tee time is, fire off a 500 and be like, oh, cool, I got a later tee time on Sunday. Like, there's no real worries. Maybe I'm in a feature group, maybe not. Like, just go play and have fun.
Yeah, and, Morikawa will be 35-40% owned, and Hovland will be 15 to 20, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. All right, my low pick here. I'm going with our Canadian boy, Corey Connors, 7,600, 68, -5. That doesn't sound right. I think he's -4.
-4.
Yeah. -4, 1 eagle, 6 birdies, 2 bogeys, 1 double, a little bit of everything. But basically, looking at the top of the leaderboard, he's close up there. He's playing well. But again, kind of what that profile is of the golfer that's being successful right now is the ball striker. And Corey Connors wasn't really coming in with his best form. But when we look back to the spring, and if we take the entire PGA Tour season into account, like he's 9th in strokes off the tee, 8th in strokes gained approach. Like he is one of the best ball strikers in the world. And it looks like that's there this weekend. Mm-hmm. So if he's hitting the ball that well, I'm going to ride Corey Connors and hope that his putter has a pretty good day. And it's fairly evident with the stats here. He's about field average in fairways. Be nice if he gets that up. Screens and relegation are very good, same as Brooks. So I like that he's giving himself opportunities, and he's actually putting the ball pretty well. Putts per green regulation. So I think Corey Connors is kind of a nice value, can go super low type play tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm a little bit upset with myself because I bought into his form isn't very good coming into the week.
Yeah.
And so I don't have any of them in tournament long. I think it was $7,100 or something like that for the week long DFS. Which just seems like a smoking deal now with now that he's hitting the ball how he always has been. But then the other thing to me is the way he hits the ball is also well suited to this. He is someone like he's 9th strokes gained off the tee. Most of the people up there are the bombers, but he is maybe about average or slightly to above average in distance, but does it at a very accurate rate, which is perfect for this golf course. So I like the play. I'm just still a little bit upset with myself.
As they say, when it's breezy, swing easy.
Yeah.
And that's what he does.
But it's not breezy.
No, it's not that breezy. Who cares? It still works out no matter what.
Okay, last one for me here. Sergio Garcia, 7,400. 68, -3, 10 birdies, 7 bogeys. A lot of birdies for someone who is only -3. Gained strokes in 11 to 15 rounds coming into actually, I think that includes these rounds. So last 3 events coming into the week, he's plus 1.25 strokes in ball striking. So Sergio lives and dies by the ball striking. The form is good coming in. I just think that to me, Sergio is always in play for Showdown because what can kill him sometimes is he has these rounds that are, he loses 4 or 5 to the field. But I don't really care about that. Like, if he loses 4 or 5 or he loses 1, it doesn't really matter to me. What I want is those ones that he gains on. And Sergio is able to do that. He's always been more comfortable at Opens than at any other major. If you look at his results across the majors, he's got about 22 or 23 starts at them. And he has twice as many top 10s at the Open than at any of the other ones. He's got 10 top 10s and 23 starts at Open. So just a great record at them. I think that, obviously they go to different courses all the time and everything, but I think it just sort of speaks to his comfort level on links courses playing this type of golf. Yeah. Has been hitting the ball great. So I said he was hitting the ball great coming in. He's hitting fairways at a high clip. He's hitting greens at a high clip, both well above average. And the putter's held for the stats that we have. So if the putter holds and then, maybe he gets a hot putter tomorrow, we could see one of those special rounds from Sergio.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, both your picks today, I actually am very much on board with. Like, I love me some Sergio. I tried to bring him up on our podcast. I guess it wasn't that natural that you guys kind of shut me down, I feel like. I have some exposure to Sergio. I don't think in 6s. I wish I pivoted some of my day down there a little bit more evenly. But man, yeah, Sergio, it's like he's been hitting the ball well. He's won within the last past 365 days. It's an Open where he's threatened many times before. He came to his round 1 tee time 30 minutes before he teed off and still shot a 68. Man. Oh yeah, let's ride Sergio.
Yeah. Don't come crying to us when he goes out there and shoots a 74 either. You're not playing Sergio for his steadiness. You're playing him for the volatility.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's our show. Please hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'm blanking here, Greg.
Yeah, we
It's
may or
Friday.
may not be coming to you tomorrow. Adam's going to be in transit, so we're going to see whether we can make that happen. If not, good luck on the weekend. But hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, take care.
All
Good
right,
luck.
see you guys.